Please raise your virtual hand as you have done before to ask a question. Hello, good evening to our head coach Jogi Löw. Manuel Neuer just said or talked of a great anticipation and also great respect for this match tomorrow and for the English side. What do you think? I guess you would agree. And what kind of importance does this match tomorrow here at Wembley have for you? Well, I think that all the matches which have taken place between England and Germany, you talk years after. This is a match, an encounter that electrifies everybody. It's for both teams. An in or out, now or never. There's only a winner and a loser who has to leave and go home. So, yeah, there's a lot at stake tomorrow. What I can feel is that we are highly motivated, all the players are, and that we have analyzed the English side after our match against Hungary. We're looking very much forward to this great encounter and a great evening ahead. Marco Mada with the first question. Good evening, Mr. Löw. I would like to get away from anticipation and electrifying match tomorrow night, but to talk something about in general, about the Euro. Is there a team or a colleague that has enthusiasted you? Are there, or have you noticed any new trends? What can you tell us about this? Well, it's difficult to judge already. There are the more important games coming up at or in the group stage. I mean, there Italy, Belgium, and also England have shown good performances, but it's not always the milestone for a tournament. We saw it yesterday with the Dutch team. They were eliminated. So we have to wait and see which team really makes it into the final, on the final stages, and who can prevail. And with some teams, there have been ups and downs in their performances. That's not a strange aspect. We have seen this before at different other tournaments. But what we can see is and notice is, but this is not a surprise to me, it's the game in general. The play in general is faster. The spaces are closed down. There is pressure on the pitch. And you can feel that all the teams want to play as fast as possible, be compact in defending, in ball possession. You don't have a lot of time to find quick solutions. So, but as I said, we still have to wait. The level has been really good in some matches, I have to say. Klaus Bergmann. Hello, Mr. Löw. Serge Gnabry hasn't had his moment. He hasn't shown off yet at this tournament. And but he has been a key player for you in the last 2 years. How do you deal with him? Do you talk to him a lot? I have faith in you. I believe in you. Don't worry. How do you have to deal with him, and how did you do it? Have you been doing it? Well, I have observed him in the last training units, and he seems to be very confident. He hasn't lacked confidence. He knows, he's aware of that a striker is measured by his goals, but he's very intense in his games. He helps supports. He trains very well. And here and there we have to stop him because he does too much. I haven't had a single chat with him yet. I will do that tomorrow. Tomorrow we had the meeting with the whole team. But I will have chats with different individual players tomorrow and tell them about their strengths and the qualities that they have and what they're able and capable of. These are the things that I will tell them. But yeah, so to have the right confidence before entering the match. Hello, Mr. Löw. Good evening. Hello, is this for you tomorrow night is very special match in terms of that could be your last match on the German bench? Well, all in all, I thought about 2 seconds today. It was one question by a colleague from of you, and now it's you asking this again. But to be honest, I don't think about it. I have so many other thoughts in my head at the moment. There's great anticipation, great joy. For this you became coach. This is my passion, to have and to compete such matches as tomorrow night. So my whole focus is on the match tomorrow night and hope that we will succeed. Felix Mansell, please, next. Good evening, Mr. Löw. You haven't lost at Wembley yet. This is a very good statistic. So if you needed to decide win 1-0 or 3-0, well, you should never ask questions like that. I guess you could answer the question by yourself. Well, also after Hungary, the match against Hungary, you don't win an award for the most beautiful football. It was the group of death, and it was only all about make it past this group, our group. And now it's in or out. So our objective can only be to win this match. We shouldn't think about that to maybe present a lot of spectacular and beautiful football and at the end lose it. You want to win such a match, but you can win such a match only if you show a good performance. And both teams are playing at a very good level, and so we have to throw in everything we have. Be calm in certain situations, be cool in certain situations. Don't get out of your match plan. And in some matches, next to the team performance, of course, small details or individual actions decide a match, maybe by committing a mistake, which normally doesn't happen. So these small details decide at the end clashes like this. So, but as a coach, I want to win this match. We want to win this match. And at the end, we want to make it into the next round. It doesn't matter what happens on the pitch, but we need to win the decisive key moments. Hello, Herr Löw. One question to the squad. You said to a colleague of mine that Ilkay Gündogan and Toni Rüdiger, Gosens, there might be doubts. Now a couple of hours passed by. Are there any updates, or do you decide about it tomorrow? Well, it will be decided tomorrow. We have to wait and see. Ilkay couldn't participate at the whole team training, but this was discussed, agreed on before. Gosens and Toni Rüdiger trained actually, but we will decide with the doctors until tomorrow. Toni Rüdiger had caught a cold. He felt a little bit tired. Toni Rüdiger yesterday already, and Robin Gosens this morning, so both caught a cold. So you have to see how such an infect develops. They trained, but we couldn't take a decision yet, and we will have to wait until tomorrow. John Murray from BBC, please. Well, I don't know, to be honest. We are prepared for both situations. We saw that England in the last months that they have play with the back three at some times against Belgium, for example. But now they also played with a back four in the last matches, haven't conceded a goal, have kept a clean sheet. So I think both is possible. The English coach probably has made his thought about it. The most important thing for us is that we are prepared for both situations, scenarios, but it doesn't matter. We have to focus on other things on the English side. They prefer and like to defend very well. They have a great defensive line, have kept a clean sheet, and are very fast in attacking. These are their qualities. The individual players have great qualities and skills. We know them all. But this is the most decisive factor here. How can we deal with it? What are our options? How can we control such situations? This is more important, and not how they play in the defensive line with the back five, back four. The match will be decided by other factors. Tier Squires again, please. Well, every coach has a different philosophy and different ideas. And as I said, that the system actually on the pitch, played on the pitch, is not a decisive factor. And each coach, this is Jürgen Klopp, this is me, this is the English coach as well, they think about what is the best for his own team and what is most important in the positioning, in defensive work and in attacking. So the coach does what he sees, notices, observes with his team, because the coach is the next to the team and he decides then. A team can play differently as the English national team or as Chelsea. Every coach knows what's best is for his team, and no coach would force his players to play in a system maybe that they don't like to, or maybe the coach is not convinced of. So it doesn't matter what the different another coach says. Everybody has his opinion and can of course tell it, but a match is decided by other factors and not because of the system. And I think this needs to be said clearly. There are other factors, other things. So this decides about winning or losing a match and not about playing with the back three or back four. Hello, hello. Manuel Neuer just said that the team tomorrow will take a knee and will show solidarity. And Harry Kane will do the same with the captain's band, wearing it in rainbow colors. This is something special. There were high tensions before. What is your take on it? How important is it for you? Well, in the past, I said it many times. We stand for all these values and want to show it also. Set signals, and this is what we have been doing. We discussed about it within the team. They decided and said and told us that they want to take a knee tomorrow, and this is of course a great sign, a great signal. Magnus Kremer from Spiegel, please. Good evening, Mr. Löw. If we look at the stats, you can see that your team doesn't enter dribblings a lot, and if they go, they don't win these dribblings. And this was known before. You want to change education and formation in Germany in general based on this, but can you focus now on this, I mean, duels and one-on-ones are very important, as we could see in the match against Hungary with Musiala. So, or is this something that should be trained and you can't do a lot of things at a tournament? Well, in education and at the academies, there is a focus on this topic. I mean, we talk about young players, young talents, and this takes place at the clubs. So and then it depends on the coach. What does he focus on at the club? And we, as the national team, we have to say that we are or have been a team that has lived off their combination play. We haven't had so many players who enter duels like the French team or the English team has. Some years ago, we already said at the DFB that we have to focus more on this, that you have players who like to then are able to dissolve and open up spaces with your dribblings. But 2010, 2014, we have never had so many players who are good in this, in entering the duels and in dribbling. We have to focus on our qualities that we have, but we discussed about that many years ago already and discussed it internally. This is obvious, it's important, we know about that. But this is something that needs to be taken care of. The clubs, they take care of the players from an age of 6 up to 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. And so you need to start early with such things, not with 14 or even older. Hello, hello. You just said that the whole focus is directed on the match tomorrow. How important is the fact penalties? You trained them in training. Can you really train such situations? The English have been training it since months. And what kind of importance does Andy Köpke play here? Well, of course, in this time we have been together here, we have trained situations, different situations. Also after training, we said two teams face each other in a penalty shootout, but you can't really copy it. And in a match, and this is clear, it's a totally different story to then take a penalty. It's a high tension moment. Maybe I'm the one who fails, who's not scoring. So mentally, it's a totally different burden load than practicing and training. I know, and I think that both of us coaches, they want to avoid a penalty shootout. You want to make it to win a match in the regular time or in extra time, and to have the possibility to take decisions. In a penalty shootout, anything can happen. We were lucky here and there in the past against the English side, especially. They were a little bit unlucky, but it's in terms of nerves, it's a totally different story. You need to have this calmness, this clarity about what you are going to do there. You can talk about it beforehand, but the walk then up to the penalty point is a totally different story. Duncan Wright from The Sun, please. Well, Ilkay, he suffered this cranial bruise, and he felt a little bit better today. The day before, he still felt a little dizzy, especially in training. So we said, okay, we have to stop his load. But today he did a good job over 30 minutes. So we have to decide about tomorrow and about the other twos. They had caught a cold, symptoms of a cold. They haven't felt so well, not powerful. And so we took some blood samples. And yeah, there are low infections, small infections. Maybe it gets better in one day. Maybe they get up tomorrow and feel well already. But maybe on the other hand, it can get worse overnight. So we have to wait until tomorrow. I don't know if all these three players will be at disposal. I can't say that, but we will have other solutions. Last two questions. Darren Lewis, please. Well, on the one side, I've followed it on TV. People remind me with Andy Köpke and Oliver Bierhoff, two players, of course, who participated, who have been working together for a long time. They've been talking about it here and there. Andy Köpke saved a penalty. Oliver Bierhoff then scored the golden goal in the final. This was the only golden goal scored at the tournament, actually. And so sometimes you talk about it, of course. It's obvious. But tomorrow is going to be a totally different situation, a totally different story. The English side, we have to say, we have to admit, they maybe weren't so present at the top of world's football, but in the near past they have improved a lot, also under the leadership of Gareth Southgate in 2018, for example. They have great individual qualities, they're a great team, they're defending very well, and in attack, I mean, look at Harry Kane at the level that he plays. He can score goals out of every situation. This is his skills, his qualities. He has a lot of them. He is both footed. He's very well, good in the air. He can protect the ball very well. So, and special measures, of course, we have to be focused. But England has also Sterling, Foden, Mason Mount, maybe. So they have a lot of strong offensive players, attacking players, with Sancho as well and Rashford. All these young talents, they are so fast. They like to enter duels. So their attack is a real threat. Last question, Florian Plettenberg, please. Thank you. I hope you can hear me. Mr. Löw, if the god of football is wants to write a nice history, a story, then he would maybe pick Jamal to score the decisive goal. And what happens if Gosens is a doubt and not his disposal? Would you maybe then change your back four formation? Thank you. Well, Musiala, if he comes in and if he doesn't score the decisive goal, then we send him back to England. Well, we chatted before about it. He has a lot of friends here, and he's aware of that his decision he took it out of his heart and with us. He knows a lot of players, team colleagues, also from Bayern. So I think this is an advantage. He needed 2 or 3 weeks, but that's normal with such a young lad. But in the last days, the last training units, he really showed his potential more and more. He came on against Hungary and showed an excellent performance. And here's a player that if he comes in, then he can do some crazy things. And this is also an option that we have. And what about our back left? We won't change our system completely or our way of playing, our approach. This will remain the same. How we play tactically doesn't have to do anything with the system. Tactical aspects are content, for example, how you interpret spaces, how you position yourself, what tasks have the single players have. But the players are prepared for that. We have players who can play on certain positions. Halstenberg, for example, can fit in this position. Christian Günther as well. So we will find a solution, and we are prepared. They have been prepared for also such situations. So thank you very much. Thanks to Jogi Löw. Thank you for your attention, great anticipation, and looking very much forward to the match tomorrow night. All the best and see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.